This is a brief tutorial on CSP's animation feature, just using some of my examples. So this is just a frame by frame animation, nothing fancy. I was using a voice clip from the Adventure Zone to practice lip syncing, and then I never finished it. But this is what it looks like.
Um, it's me. Hi, I'm Taco. You know, from TV.
Yeah, you can see where I stopped. But if you have audio, that's pretty good to help you with timing. To get the audio in, you just go to File, Import, and then there should be a Import Audio button. And you just go into your files, import the right file, and it should appear right at the top. If not in the timeline panel, then you just drag it right in. All of the layers that you make will appear in the timeline panel, though. Even if you just make a regular layer, you can see it just appeared. What you want to do in order to get like all these frames into one layer and not onto multiple layers is that you want to go here. If you don't have a timeline, you want to click the new timeline button and it will make a timeline for you with all your layers on it. And then you'll want to do a new animation folder. Here, I'll zoom in for you. So it's this, for this left button, you click new animation folder, you'll see a folder is created. And within that folder, every new layer you make will be automatically numbered. So this one is a 1, and I'll doodle something on it real quick. You can see though that even though it says the eye icon is on, I can't draw on it because it's not visible within my timeline. So I actually have to go down to the actual timeline and right click and put in the frame. So it'll give you a list of frames and you can just click it and it'll appear. Now you can see there's one on the timeline, and I can draw in it now. So I'll just draw like a happy face. Um, then to make a new frame, you can just go anywhere you want on the timeline, and then the new animation cell, it's right next to the new animation folder, right there with the little star. You want to just click on that and it'll make a new frame for you as well as a new layer, and then you can draw on that layer. What it does now is that it'll completely, the new animation cell, it makes a brand new blank layer, but it turns on your onion skinning. Well, I have my onion skin on, so I can still see what's on the previous frame. So I can use that as a guide and then just draw right on top of that. And so now I can flip between the two frames. If you want to turn off onion skin, you can, and then you can see how it changes. That is basically how to do it. You can also just make a new layer like you would normally. You can make a vector layer if you so desire, and it will still create a new layer with automatically named with the numbers. But you'll have to manually input by just right clicking where you want it to go and putting in the frame, and then you can draw on that new frame. So now I got a little happy face. Um, if I just flip back and forth, you can also, if you don't want to create an entirely new layer, just copy the layer and it'll make a new layer, and then you can just implement that. And it doesn't have to be the latest frame. Let's say I wanted a frame between 2 and 3. If I make one, it'll label it as 2A, and then I can just put 2A in and just do that. So now I'm going to disable onion skin, and you can see the progression of my little smiley face. That's how to do basic frame by frame. I forgot to mention this in my first recording. If you want to edit the length of a frame on a timeline, say you didn't want first frame to be that long, or you wanted the second frame to be longer, you can actually right click on the frame, and then you can there's some options. You can insert frame, delete frame. Deleting frame will delete, well, a frame. So the frame 2 is only like 4 frames long. I can delete a frame if I don't like it, and now it's only 3 frames long. Conversely, I can go to insert frame and then insert maybe like 10 frames. And it will expand that one. And as you see, it also expanded the one down there, so it'll expand all the ones. It'll delete all the frames on a single layer, or not on a single layer, on the whole composition, and it'll also expand the frames on the whole composition. So you might want to be careful there. What you can also do, and this is usually what I do, is that you can actually click between the frames. You'll see it turns red, that line between the frames, and you can just drag that. You can see the red line as it gets dragged, and that will lengthen one of your frames. So you can just manually sort of move it around if you need to. Um, Additionally, you can grab onto a frame by clicking the top bar and moving that back and forth. So this is just like my credit, so I just move that back and forth. You can cut off a frame like this where you right click and then you set that as the last displayed frame, and that cuts off the frame, or you can set it as first displayed frame, and then that starts a frame. But you can see that these 5 frames that I have here are only one group, because you can see that there's the line up above the top is connected. So I can actually take that and drag them as a unit. But if I wanted to say split up a clip, you can just, let me zoom out. You can right click, split clip. You can see that both of them now have those bars along the top, and now I can move frame 3 and 4 away if I wanted to. So they become different units. I think the dragging thing only works between the frames, but that's how you edit the length of it. So I would use that to map out your motion, and then you would go in and do the in-betweens. You have to right click and delete them if you want to delete the frame, because if you just delete them with like the button, it'll delete the what's on the frames. Your keyboard shortcuts, and it'll listen to what usually happens on the canvas, not on your timeline. So you have to kind of go in. I don't know all the shortcuts for quick timeline editing. That is generally how to do it, yeah.